Hello guys, my name is Harsh Goyal, and today we will be talking about one of the tool that is Burpsuite. Okay, and like how we can just download Burpsuite, and like how we can just install it in the system, and how we can have to do the settings in a system. When we just talk about the penetration testing or any cybersecurity tool, so we just encounter with many of the tools. Okay, that is available in the market. But if we just talk about the most precious tool that we will be looking in the cybersecurity field, so we will be going for the Burp Suite tool. Okay, so what it will do, basically, it is a tool which will be interrupting the request for any of the application that you are just surfing right now. Suppose if I'm just going with um, Amazon.com, suppose. Okay, so yeah. So basically, suppose if I'm just going with the Amazon.com or any of the website right now, okay, so there is the two things that is going and incoming. So that is the request and response. But this video is not about a description about but it's a request and response. We will just talking about the Buffsuit tool. So that two things are major for like loading into your system. Okay, and for just checking out the interface of the any application and etc etc. So basically, this is the Amazon.com website. So suppose if I have to interrupt this its request, okay, like if I have to check what is going on in the background, like in the backend part, and what is coming from the backend. Okay, so for that, that tool will help us. So let me search for the Burp Suite tool. Mm, okay. And here it is, like the Port Trigger, which is developed by the Port Trigger team. So let me just download the community edition. And you can also go for the professional one, but if you are having the license, okay. And it is costing about like $450, about I don't know like how much it will be costing in the real scenario. But if you wanted to practice your basic penetration testing skills, or you have to go in that field, so you have to be hands-on on the Bubsu tool. Okay. So let me just download the Burpsuite Community Edition. Here it is asking for the email ID to download, but we have to just go with the straight to downloads. Okay, so let me just go with the straight to downloads, and it is the Burpsuite Community Edition, and you will also see professional one. But for the professional one, you have to purchase it. Okay, so we are just going with the professional one, and it is also saying that you have to download the jar file, Linux, or Linux 64-bit, Mac OS, Silicon for the Silicon, and Mac OS for the Intel as well, like Windows for the ARM and Windows for the 64-bit. Okay, so I'm just going with the Windows 64-bit and download. So once it will be download, so just install it for the like doing the next like the normal installation. Okay, so let it be installed first, like download. Okay, so I guess it is downloaded. Okay, let me just open it. Okay, so this type of interface you will be having after downloading this Burp Suite tool and when you just open it. Okay, so here you can see that we have to install it first. So next, okay, so we have to download it into the Burpsuite Community Edition into the our C drive, or you can just choose your own drive, okay, where you have to install it. So suppose if I'm just going with the C drive, next, and what it will access, it will just showing you over here. Okay, then we are just going with the next option and let it extract the files. And once it is done, so then we can just move on for the setting up the Burp Suite tool in our system. Okay. And one more browser you can just install. You can just install this Burp Suite tool in your Chrome browser as well. But if I am just suggesting from a personal experience, so I'll go with the Firefox tool. Okay, Firefox browser. So I guess it is installed. Okay, let us search. Yes, it is installed. Okay. But if I have to just set this Burp Suite tool in my browser, so I'll suggest you to install the Firefox as well. Okay. Firefox browser. So get Firefox for the desktop. It is developed by the Mozilla. So I'm just going with this version. Okay. And freely download. No, don't have to download the Opera. So free download in PC. Yep. So it is downloaded and we have to install it in our browser in our system. So yeah, optimizing your speed and privacy and safety. Now installing Firefox browser. And yeah, so it's done downloading and installing part for the Firefox Chrome. So I'm just skipping this all scenario. I have to just turn on this particular browser right now. So skip this step and start browsing. Okay. So this is the browser interface for the Firefox, and we have to configure our Burpsuite tool in this. Okay. So let me just open my Burpsuite. Okay. And in the starting it will look like this. Okay, so I accept, but if you just having this feedback about its performance help improve or something, so you can just, but if you just decline it, so it is your call. Okay, so I'm just accepting this message. Then we are having the temporary project in memory, new project on disk, and open existing project. So suppose if you are just going with the community edition, so you will be having this option available only in the system. But if you are just going with the professional one, so you are having these two as well. So these two is are like the main thing that we use in our company. So suppose if I'm just going with the pen testing for the one product. So suppose not the product, basically one website. Okay, if I'm just saying in the layman term. So I'll use this new project on disk as because I have to open my that project file for the pen testing, the same file always. Okay, I'm not going with a temporary project always. So I'm just going with a new project on disk and I'll just create the file. And whenever I'm just pen testing for the same web application, so I'll go with that open existing project. Okay, but right now, as we are having only community edition, so we can just go with the temporary project in our memories. So next, and use burp defaults, or if you have to load your configuration file, so you can load it as well. Okay, so I'm just going with the defaults and let it be open. Okay. So once it will be open, so you will be having this kind of interface. So you don't have to just like look at these things. So just ignore this. If you have to just go with the guided tour, so you can just take a tour as well. If you wanted to watch a video, go with it as well. If you just wanted to practice some academy or some like any of the practicals, so you can just go with the start learning. Also, like it is having Burpsuite support center as well, and you Burpsuite on Twitter. Okay, so we are just going with the getting started with the Burpsuite. We are not going with the tour and all. So start here and you will be having this. Okay, so you can just start your tour and check out this video for just starting with the burp suite, but I'm just going with the starting with you. So over here you can see these kinds of extension over the header. Okay, so these extensions help you in you like using the burp suite in a different kinds of way. Okay, so suppose if I'm just going with the proxy tool, proxy is like some kind of server which is like suppose if I'm just giving the example of it. So, like, suppose this is your browser and you are just requesting for any application right now. Okay. So, like, suppose this is the application you are requesting. So, when you just request this like application from the server, so the request will go to the server and server will respond you back with this application like front end part and the back end part. Okay. So this is the happening. So this is the request that we are making from our browser, and this is the response that is coming from the server. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that is going on into the backend when you're just requesting for any application online, any website or anything. Okay. So here, what the proxy will do, proxy will have a simplest way to interrupt the request. So what it will do, suppose if you are just having this browser and you are just opening like requesting any application from the browser. Okay, so what it will do when you just request the any application, so it will just go with the burp suite tool. Okay, so it is having a proxy and you can say that it is having a middle cap. Okay, which will be having the request, and you can see over here that but request is going on. Okay, And once you will be having like it is okay, so you can just send it to the server. But if you're not okay with the request, you can add it and you can manipulate the request as per your call. Okay. But if I'm just okay with it, so I'll be sending it to the server and server will respond something. And you can also do like whatever response is coming, it will come to you in the Burpsuite tool. And if you're just okay with the response, you can just send it to your browser. So this is the process which will be going on in the Burpsuite tool and which will be using Burpsuite tool for it. So like suppose this is the proxy which we have to setting up. So here there is a mention proxy settings. Okay, so I'm just clicking on it and it is shown that 127.0.0.1 and 8080 port is configured on it. Okay, but if you have to configure your own port, suppose if I'm just having multiple application in my system which is using 8080 port right now. So what I have to do, I have to change this port application so that like whenever I'm just using this Burpsuite tool, so 8081, like whatever port I'm just selecting right over here. Okay. So on that particular port, whatever request will come, I can see over here. Okay. So I'm just adding a new port that is 8081 over here. And the specified address will be this. That is your local host system. Okay, loopback's address you can say. Okay, I'm just deselecting this 8080 port, and when you just come over here, you will be seeing that request for this and or request for HTTP methods as well. Please don't select for this is in target scope URL this part as because if you are just going with the um, company's penetration testing, then you can just select it as because we are having this target scope over here. I can like show you. Okay. So this target scope is this. Like suppose if I'm having a particular application like files and everything in my system, so I can set it over here. Okay. And whatever request is going within a target, like I'm just selecting the target, suppose if Amazon.com. So those requests only will come over here. Okay, every request which is going on into the backend for the browser, like there are multiple requests that will be coming and going from the browser. So those requests will not show up. Okay, from after selecting this part. But for now, like I'm just selecting the or, like I have to like interrupt all the requests which is going on to the browser. Okay, so I'm just going checking box for these. And I also like suppose if I have to interrupt response as well, which is coming from the server, so I have to select this as well. So in this, we have to select for the or, and. That is saying request that was modified and request that was interrupted. All requests will be captured. Okay. And response as well. Okay. And the status code which is not matching. Like suppose if the response is not having that particular response code, like 200 okay response or any response which is not matching for the status, so it will also capture those response as well. So I'm just selecting these things and deselecting this URL and target scope. So then just click cross, and if you have to just verify that settings are good or not, so you can just go with it once again. Okay. So now, as my personal recommendation, you can just go with the Burp Suite browser only. Okay, when you just click on the open browser, so it will just give you its own browser. Okay, so you can just search over here and you can just interrupt any request which is coming in over here. Okay, but if I have to set up settings like Burpsuite tool in my browser, so what I can do, I can just simply go with this Firefox extension, Firefox browser. I will go to the settings. Okay, and here I will search network. Okay, in the network, we will do some settings. Okay, so we have to set our manual proxy configuration. Okay, as because our Burpsuite tool is using 127.0.0.1 IP address and 8081 port. So I will configure for my site. So 127.0.0.1 and port number is 8081. Okay. I have to also use the proxy for HTTPS requests as well. So I'm selecting this part as well. Okay. And just click OK. Okay. After that, when you just search for anything, like suppose I'm just going with the Amazon, um, okay, .com, or like I will go with the Instagram.com. Okay. I'm just selecting it and you can see over here did not connect potential security issue. Firefox detected potential security threat and did not continue Instagram.com because this website requires a secure connection. Okay. And etc. etc. I'm going with the advanced option and you can see over here view certificate option. Okay, so just click on it and you can see over here. This is the certificate of the port seeker, but as per we didn't selected the certificate option in our system. We didn't set it yet, so we have to set that certificate first. So for that, we can just go with the HTTP and burp. Okay, when you just hit the enter, you will just drag to this particular website, and you will just have to click on the CA certificate. So when you just click on the CS certificate, it will download a certificate which you have to place in your system. Okay, in your Firefox settings. So I'm just going with the settings once again and writing out certificate and view certificate. And here we have to import that certificate that we just downloaded. Okay. So suppose I'm going with the import option, downloads and certificate. Okay. Trust this CA certificate, trust this CA certificate. Okay, and clicking on OK. Okay, and clicking on OK. That is done for the setting up the Burpsuite tool in Firefox. Okay, so suppose if you are just going with any of the applications, so suppose see over here, we are having the request captured. Okay, so I'm just clearing the history right now. Okay, none of the request is coming right now, and once I'll go with any of the suppose if I'm just going with Instagram.com right now. So see, I'm opening it right now. Okay, and all the requests which I'm just requesting from the server in my browser, these all requests are capturing into my Burpsuite tool. So suppose if you have to interrupt that request, okay, like I have to intercept that request and I have to check that request is good, or if I have to check for the vulnerabilities in the request, so what I can do, I can just go with the intercept section, choose the intercept on, and once I'll refresh this request, so you can see over here, I'm just capturing those requests as well, and it will not load, right? Like you can just see over here, it is not loading. The website is not loading as because I captured the request. Once I'll forward all requests, then it will be loaded as well. Okay, so suppose I'm just going with the forward all. Okay, and clicking on forward all. So see, request is gone, but the response is coming now. So see over here, response is coming. So forward all. Okay, and forward all. So see, page is loaded now. So that is the work for the Burpsuite tool. Okay, so this is the thing that we can just work on the Burpsuite tool for the penetration testing. And if you have to check the request, like what request we just made, but the request and response are coming to the in the back end. So you can just go with the HTTP history and you can see over here the history, all history that you just requested and respond. Okay, if you just edited any request, so those requests will be also showing over here. So see, all the requests are here. And that's it all about the setting up the Burpsuite tool in a Firefox. And you can just also use any Chrome browser or any browser if from which you are comfortable with. And that's all. Thank you, guys.